All right, thanks for tuning in as we continue day 5 coverage here from CMA Industry Week. And this, of course, is part of our MSC showcase. We're going to continue on digging deeper into DSP. Started on the last session with Larry going through different technologies, but now we're going to dive in a little bit more into DSP. I'm going to bring back Chris Van Rye. Chris, DSP, 3 letters that intimidate some installers and where others embrace it completely.
Yeah, it's a big swing in terms of technicians, installers, sales guys, consumers, everybody. There's a lot of confusion, misconception, fear, and a lot of embrace at the same time too.
The title of this session is Brax Helix Standalone DSP Lineup, so one can only assume that we're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive as to the offering in the DSP category from Audio Tech Fisher brands.
Yeah, we generally don't like to get too deep into spec sheets and that kind of stuff with the products, especially with something like DSP. You can go for days on talking about how many channels and all that kind of stuff with it. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. This is a solution product that's about delivering an end result and a tool to help you get there. So we wanted to kind of go over some of the basics, the similarities between some of them, and a couple of the really major key differences that can change up the toolbox for you.
All right, very, very cool. So what is the procedure? What is the format?
So first thing we wanted to do is take a minute and show a quick little video from the Audio Tech Fisher team that kind of gives some insight as to what they're all about and what makes those guys tick on their end.
All right, let's go for it.
Sound. Enthusiasm for what is technically feasible. Audio Tech Fisher stands for high-end car audio made in Germany, with reputable suppliers who manufacture according to Audio Tech Fisher specifications, made with hand-selected components to the highest standards.
If you want to have high-end results, you have to use high-end components without any compromise.
Measured by lowest tolerances, handmade, and signed for the highest quality.
The innovative DSP technology and the combination of premium components is indispensable in future.
Audio Tech Fisher develops plug-and-play systems that raise the sound in the car to the highest level. If you want to have high-end sound in the car, you have to adapt the built-in components optimally to the car's interior. With this claim, Audio Tech Fisher became the world market leader. It stands for state-of-the-art car audio. Audio Tech Fisher, car audio with passion.
All right. That was cool seeing dad and son both there in that video.
Yeah, it's super cool because they are family run. Heinz and Gudrun, the husband and wife that started the whole thing, Julian, their son, who's their digital engineer, started this thing from the ground up. I mean, Heinz was an electrical engineer building power supply technologies that just basically got frustrated seeing friends build home audio or take home audio products and try and get them up and running in a car, which just did not work. The power supplies in a 12-volt car back in the late 80s and early 90s was a totally different world than we live in now. So that's where Heinz actually got his start, was building capacitors to help deal with those kinds of issues that were coming through there. So as an avid musician, Heinz has been playing rock music for a lot of years now, carrying that passion for music. His electrical backgrounds and his passion for that stuff is what this whole thing started on. And since Julian came to age and came through the university side of things with that digital engineering background and applying that to the same music and audio background that he's grown to love, and that's what really defines this company top to bottom. It's really cool and really unique.
Like anything else that's German engineered or designed, there's a certain expectation from a fit and finish standpoint. And I can tell you, just from the images that I've seen and me holding and touching the product, there's definitely a refined feeling when you have one of these pieces in your hand.
Yeah, there's. I mean, they're an amazing group of people that understand that every detail matters. From the look of it, the feel of it, the packaging of it. It's an experience, and it doesn't matter if it's a Match product, a Helix product, all the way up into the Brax line. I mean, Brax is such a cool product category to talk about because it is absolutely over the top in every sense. They're presenting that product as the Bugatti of this industry. It's all designed in-house from the ground up, everything hardware, software, all of it. Everything is designed and built right there in Schmallenberg, Germany, under the keen eyes of the guys with the vision. There's nothing like it that I've ever experienced.
Very, very, very cool. All right, what's next?
So from there, we're going to dive into some of the standalone DSP products. We wanted to kind of talk about those little black boxes. There's a handful that run through the range of the Helix line, starting from the DSP Mini, which is our smallest component in the lineup. Simple 4-channel in, 6-channel out. Smallest footprint of the bunch. The cool thing about this, though, is as we look through, we've been talking about some of the technologies that exist, things like our ADEP high-level input circuits, all of the equalization, our real center up mixers, our bass augmentation processing, all of that kind of stuff is available even in this little starting point into the DSP world for Helix. So it doesn't matter, like I said, as we go up through these 3 different DSPs we're going to talk about right now, you're getting the same experience, the same process. When you're going through, your capabilities of the systems are going to be exactly the same. You're going to have one software that defines everything. So our PC tool, currently on version 4, covers off every current DSP product that we sell. So it doesn't matter if you're working with the DSP Mini all the way up to the DSP Ultra, you're going to have, as the person setting this up, the exact same workflow, the exact same steps that you're going to take to make sure that these systems are dialed in. So the Mini, like I said, is kind of the baby, the entry ticket into the party. From there, we go up to the DSP Point 3. Big difference there is it's going to move you up to a 6-channel in, 8-channel out platform. From there, we go to the DSP Ultra, which is by far our best seller out of this category. This guy puts you into 8 channels in, 12 channels out, both high and low level inputs on this thing. The big thing that you get with DSP Ultra, though, the big variation is we get into a feature called virtual channels. And this is something that's not being done anywhere else in the industry. What we've done is we've actually added an extra layer of signal processing. So when you go through, we have physical inputs, physical outputs, and then we've got this little category that sits in the middle, which is our virtual channels. Almost think in the cloud. What we've got is now this system is broken out into groups. So you've got your physical input, say your front left channel coming in. We've got a front left group that you're able to go through and tune. So it's got its own layer of equalization. It's got its own layer of phase correction and time alignment to it. So now you can actually go through and tune these systems as groups before you even get to the outputs, the physical outputs, where you can tune each independent channel differently. So there's a couple different reasons that we've come up with this concept of virtual channels. The first is it allows more customization. Now you've got the ability to freely route all of these systems. So if you've got a 12-channel DSP and you want to have 10 of those channels be subwoofer outputs, you can do that with sub control over them. If you want to have 10 center channel outputs, all with the upmixer applied to it, you can do that. So you've got this total platform wide open to do anything that you can think of with that setup. The other big benefit that you get to this is now it's one layer of processing. So for example, we have a lot of dealers and a lot of partners that like to tune channels independently. And one problem that can arise in that situation is if you're equalizing one channel or near the crossover, the passband of one channel, you can actually go through and create phase variances between it and the channel beside it. So say, for example, between your mid-bass and your mid-range. Those phase imbalances can in turn create more acoustic problems in the listening position. What virtual channels allows you to do is actually EQ that whole group, so that whole driver side as one. So any phase shift that happens as a result of equalization doesn't happen because it's applied to the entire group at one time. So the phase shifts are all equally balanced, not creating any additional hassles to deal with. So we've got some really, really cool capabilities that come along with virtual channels. It's something that we can spend hours talking about what you can do with it. But we wanted to give you kind of a quick overview of what's possible with that. And that's something that's available in the standalone line, just in the DSP Ultra. It's an exclusive there, but also exists in a couple of our amplified DSP products as well. As we move forward from the standalone Helix DSP products, the next we start to jump into the one that everybody always asks about, can't wait to read about, and that's our Brax DSP. So this is one, we'll bring Larry in here to talk about his baby. This one absolutely sparks the fire. There is nothing like this product on the industry. It's a totally bespoke built, tailored piece of hardware that is built for the client that orders it. But getting ahead of myself here, I'll bring Larry in here to talk on this particular topic.
So the Brax DSP really is something special. That one of the first things that I saw when we began our relationship with Audio Tech Fisher was this piece of kit. It is absolutely stunning to look at. This is the Brax DSP here. This is our top-end standalone DSP processor. And we're not meek in saying that it is the world's best, the world's most expensive processor. Canadian retail on this piece is $8,500, and in the US is $6,500. And I just want to touch on that one aspect for a second of 65 to 85, but because we are in control of both North American countries, Canada and US, you're going to find all of our pricing in line between US and Canadian dollar. So we're not dealing with different price points, and you got to be price competitive with the different countries that you're in. So with the Brax DSP, we could go on a whole day, Ben, on this guy in terms of what makes it better and what makes it special. Just a couple little deals. There's 55 power supplies in this thing. Yes, I did say that right. 55 different power supplies. And one of the other very cool things is everything is monitored with what we call the Brax logger. So if there is a little hiccup in the processor, we can simply connect our computer to this. We can log the information that the internal system is reporting to us. We send that to Germany, and just like a high-end automobile, or any automobile for that matter, where they plug it into the OBD2 and it spits out what's wrong with it, that coding is going back to Germany, and they can come back to us and let us know exactly what ails the processor, if there's anything wrong with it.
Hey, Larry.
But I wanted you...
Larry, can you hear me?
Sorry?
Can you hear me, Larry?
Yes.
Just before you get too far, I just want to, I had to put myself back in the chair when you said the price of that DSP. So sorry that there was a little bit of a delay, but I can totally appreciate it. And I want to know, and this is a serious question, why do we need 58 power supply? Was it, what did you say?
55 power supplies.
Why does a DSP need 55 power supplies? And forgive me if that is an unfounded question, but I'm curious.
Every circuit within this DSP is using its own power supply, which is monitored by its onboard processor. So this, Ben, this thing was in development for 7 years. So the things that it does over any other processor on the market, there's just nothing like it. It's fully bespoke. As Chris had mentioned, you order the processor and it's built to order. It comes with a little certificate of ownership, comes with a little shirt that comes in the package, and this is the box. And I don't know if our camera can get a good view on this, but I want you to zoom in on the grain. Probably not, but this is all made from one piece of wood. So the grain from the top of the box through the side, around the back, is all one grain. And I'll see if we can, yeah, probably don't have the resolution to see that, but.
No, but I think we get the idea. Bespoke, made by hand in Germany.
Yeah, and the packaging, it's just beautiful. And the sound, I mean, do we get into the law of diminishing returns sometimes? I'm going to say no, because listening to this processor, the guys just finished off a beautiful installation of a Brax processor with our MX4 amplifier, and we'll get to that at Dynamic Audio in Lodi, California. And Jason and Doug and Matt were down there. They spent 2 or 3 days with the group there, and they set up their whole showroom. And Jason was talking to me about the sound, and he goes, dude, you know, we make a lot of different displays. Like if we go to this one with the Helix V8 and P1 on it, and then over to our M series amplifiers, these things sound amazing. But when you fire this up, as Jason so enthusiastically explained, it was like, man, it's another world. And I was talking to the guys at Dynamic after the installation was done, and he goes, we were just sitting back giggling at how great this sounded. So there is a difference.
I no doubt in my mind there is a difference, because I'm a big fan of over the top and totally unnecessary, but appreciate every ounce of it. I mean, that's what the whole fun is, right? I mean, we don't do this because we need it. You're doing it because we want it. So if you're looking for over the top, like just over-engineered, overbuilt, custom, bespoke, built to your, you know, I mean, I think we're looking at it.
Yeah, and its partner, the MX4 Pro, these two pieces make the system. And one of the cool things about this, so for instance, on the input side, you can specify whether you want low-level RCA or digital input on all the channels. So it's modular. A card pulls out, you can change it from analog to digital in. And the digital in has both Toslink as well as coax digital in. And on the output, as you can see here, this is all digital output, both coaxial and Toslink digital out. And the cool thing is that I learned from the guys at Audio Tech Fisher, and I've been doing this for quite a while, but out of this one little cable, we can pass 2 channels of digital audio, but there's also room for a little carrier signal on there as well. So we have developed a little circuit called DSAC. So we're running a volume control command from the processor to the amplifier. So when you give the conductor wheel a spin here to turn the system up and down, you are actually not compressing the digital audio signal. What you're actually doing is adjusting the voltage on the analog side of the amplifier. So it's full bit rate from the source through the processor. All your time alignment, equalization, all that stuff is done in the digital domain. Digital into the amplifier, because the amplifier has digital ins. And then with DSAC, you want to turn the volume up, it turns volume up internally in the amplifier. And now we're working on a situation where with Porsche and all the most equipped cars and things like that, A2B, AVB, all that stuff, when you grab the factory Porsche volume control and spin it up and down, we are actually talking to our own amplifier just like it would be found in the factory. So this DSAC is our own proprietary technology, and it was introduced here, but it will be shuffled down the line as we carry on with the systems.
As with any great brand, technology should always, you know, trickle down into even the entry points, and you know, and rightfully so. You know, Mercedes doesn't race F1 not to develop technology so that the C-Class has something later on down the road. So very well put. Let's keep it going. We got another 5 minutes. What else can we talk about?
Well, we're going to dig in here real quick to our tuning tools that we use. At MSC, we realize I don't want to say the problems, but we realize that when you buy a tool and you don't know how to use it, or it's not complete, it sits up on the rack and it gets dust. And I want to see a show of hands out there, not that I'm going to be able to see them, but we all know who you are. How many times have we blown off the dust of that RTA when we're pulling it off? So we've developed a tuning kit that we designed specifically for our dealers. It comes in a nice flight case, and inside there, we provide you with your own laptop, and on that laptop is all of the software that you will need to set up a Audio Tech Fisher processor. So, and nothing more, nothing less. And we also include the MTK1 microphone kit. So there's lots of tuning components, separate components out there, but inside of every one of our processor-based systems is our own RTA. So no secondary screen, no secondary microphone, no nothing. This, along with the little T-bone connector here, plugs into the USB jack of your laptop that we supply in the flight case. And with our automatic EQ measurements, you simply sweep from ear to ear and do that for 20 seconds. And the processor will take an average of what it sees from all those microphone positions over that 20 seconds and automatically EQ to a set house curve that you can adjust yourself. So the idea of this is our processors are as simple as you want them to be, or if you want to dig deep, we can go really deep, deeper than anybody can. But our idea is to be proficient and profitable in the shop. So there's not that one guy, the tuning guy in the company. We want to make it so anybody can grab the tuning kit, put the product in, the technician puts the product in, gets in the car, goes through the automated EQ setting, sets the crossovers and all that other stuff, sets the time alignment with the supplied little laser beam that we give you to measure speaker distances, and the car is 90% of the way there. So every car you deliver has that signature Bob's audio sound or Fred's audio sound. We want to have you confidently tell the client that you're going to put their concert on the road, and every car that leaves your bay is going to have that signature sound. And we supply that in that tuning kit. No other tools required.
I have no doubt in my mind that along with that all-in-one kit comes all-in-one training for that kit.
As I was explaining to you, when we come out and set this beautiful display up in your store, we also take the following day and we teach you how to use that tuning kit. And again, the guys have been on the road in the US doing this, and our dealers have been given a warm welcome, and we're making qualified technicians really, really, really quickly with this. So those of you who are in more of a production-based shop, we can assist you in doing DSP in a production line method that will instantly improve every car that you deliver, and it'll let you do that repetitively and reliably.
Especially if you're, like you said, not that one tuning person, you know. And
the tunings are. We've all been there. Yeah, I've been there. I was that guy.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And when that guy is not around, you're stuck. You know, it really impedes your production. One thing I wanted to clarify for the dealers listening in, that tool package that you have available, that does work throughout the entire range, right, of DSP tuning from the match all the way up to the Brax?
Yeah, one tuning kit, one software, one workflow, everything stays the same. And it's all automatic updates. So if you were to be using a newer version of our software, it'll simply pop up and say, hey, the device you're connected to is not up to date. Would you like to update it? You hit yes, bam, it updates it for you. It's automatically done. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out.
Which is important in today's market.
Yeah, you don't have to be, but you can be.
But you
because all the submenus within that software allow you to go really, really deep, as we've got some very good dealers out there. Nick Apicella at Apicella Auto Sound. He's a crazy man when it comes to tuning, and he's got a whole list of stuff that he does with our processors. Yet we can take somebody who just put the product in and teach them. Our kind of deal is we're going to teach you to tune the car in about 45 minutes or less for instant success.
Very, very, very cool. Larry, great session. Learned a lot about what MSC has for as far as ridiculous over-the-top high-end DSP units, such as the Brax unit that you showed before, but also the tools that MSC provides to ensure success amongst the shops when it comes to tuning solutions. I think we got a glimpse of how that the microphone works in the video that we saw earlier on in the beginning of the session too. So thank you so much, Larry.
Thank you.
There you have it, guys. Larry Appen. He doesn't like to be called president, but he is the president of MSC. And that was all about Brax Helix standalone DSPs and the tool software and kit that they provide to help you tune the system. All right, lots more great education to go during this MSC showcase. Live from CMA Industry Week Day 5. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.